Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you're here. And this is the reference photo that I'm going to be using for this particular sketch in this video. And I'm just going to be using a few different colors because I really want to focus on this beautiful flowering plant that is one of my favorites called a Bougainvillea. And so I'll be using pinks, a greenish color, like an olivey color, and then gray washes. So let's get started. I'm using my Bohong watercolor paper pad, and I do love this because it's glued on the sides and it just is nicer than working on one sheet of paper. So it's nice to have the support of the pad behind it. And I propped it up with a little washcloth just so I have a little bit of an angle as I'm sketching. I can see better. And I'm just going to lightly pencil in the outline of the buildings. And then we'll go in with pen after that and then watercolor. I love the angle of this building, and I do love the blue doors, but I just wanted to kind of focus on the plant itself. So I'm putting in the windows on the side there. And I did, it's always nice. I like to do a quick little practice sketch of anything that I'm going to be sketching on video. So I did a quick little practice sketch, and it's always nice to do that before you kind of commit to your watercolor paper. And I found that very helpful because then I can kind of figure it out and feel confident in what I'm doing once I go into the actual sketch. And this is not I usually always do Florida themed sketches. This is not a Florida theme. This looks like it's in Greece or somewhere Mediterranean. So, but I loved it and I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So I hope that you enjoy. I'm working off my iPad up there, so that's why I'm adjusting that. And I'm not going to be I'm not penciling in, or I'm not going to use the pen either to add the plant. I'm just going to use watercolor paint to put my plant in when I get to it. I'm not even going to add the trunk of the plant. I'll also do that with watercolor as well. So I've got my initial sketch done. I'm going to go over my line work with my 01 micron pen, which is a really nice fine tip pen. I love it. I love that fine line work. And I didn't speed this up. I'm actually doing this in real time, sharing it with you in real time. So if you want to sketch along with me, it's a little bit easier that way. And I love the stone walkway. It's so beautiful. Never been to the Mediterranean, so hopefully someday it'd be amazing to go and sketch there on site. I just got a commission piece to do for my neighbor of Spain, and that was so much fun to do. Those buildings are amazing on the hillsides. I did that in oil, actually. So if you've been following me, you know that I started, and if for those of you that don't know me or not familiar with me, I started this channel back in May of 24, and my goal was to sketch every day. I didn't post a video every day. I posted 1 or 2 a week, but I got to tell you, sketching every day has totally improved my artwork as far as when I'm doing oil painting, commissions and things like that. You just see things better, and it just comes to you faster with practice. You get that hand-eye coordination. So with my neighbor, like I said, doing the Spain landscape and also a pet portrait, I was just amazed at how quickly I could see things and get it onto the canvas a lot faster. So it's really helped. So I highly recommend sketching every day. Just carry around a little pad of paper and a pen, and if you're just sitting in a waiting room, just sketch something. Sketch what you see. It really helps. And I think it's great. Like, I love art because it's like almost like meditating, where all the noise is out of your head. You're not focusing on anything but what you're looking at and what you're trying to get on the paper. So I think it's really healthy. Way better than scrolling sometimes through social media. You know how that could be. You need to take a break from it. It's not healthy. Unless you're looking at artwork, which I love when my algorithm is a lot on art. I love that. You can learn so much. So put in these little cobblestone, little different shapes, small ones, big ones, medium. And I'm not exactly following it. I'm being very loose and just doing my own. These are not meant to be exact copy. It's just for fun and loose. Practice. Just put a little detail work in the back there. Not really focusing on anything else. Keeping it simple. I'm going to erase all my pencil lines. Add a few more details in. Some little windows in the back here. I love those little buildings in the back. And you can see I've left all that open space there for the plant. ready to put some watercolor down. And I've got my little travel palette here. I've already spritzed it with some water. Oh, actually, I'll put a little bit more. Always good to activate those watercolors with a little spritz. Nice clean jar of water, paper towel, and I'm going to be using my Dugato size 0 since it's a small piece of paper. The 0 size works fine for me. So I'm going to start off putting in the plant with some bright opera pink. And I'm going to go directly onto the dry paper, not wetting the paper. Just going to start putting in quick little just drops of paint right on the paper. Little clusters of flowers with little branches off to the sides and bottom there and off to the edge. Or off the side of the dropping off the sides of the building there. I like this Dugato brush. It's got a nice fine tip, but it holds a lot of water, so if you want to add some larger some larger paint onto the paper, these brushes are great. I bought a set of 4, but I mostly do a lot of small watercolors, so this is my go-to, the size 0. And we've got a little bit down here on the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit of the purple to the pink so I can get, excuse me, so I can get a little bit of a darker shade in there for some shadowing, some dimension. And I'm going to go in with the green. I've got 2 greens on there, and so I'm going to use both my, actually I have 3 greens on there, but I'm using hooker's green, some sap green, and some yellow ochre. I just kind of want to get a, even though that's a darker green in the image, I want to do more of like an olivey green, keeping it on the lighter side. And then that is the Payne's Gray that I'm mixing a little pile up there for all my wash on the shadows. So I'm going to let that pink dry, and I'm going to kind of try to avoid it and do the Payne's Gray first while that pink's drying. So I'm going to put the Payne's Gray in all the windows and doors. I'm trying to avoid that pink while it's drying. And then I'll go ahead and put in some of the shadows on the building. I'm going to do a little bit on since the stones are a little darker, I'm going to put the Payne's Gray on the stones. So this is fun to do something a little different by just using a few colors. And there's times where I don't know if you noticed, but I'll turn the camera off and I'm gonna dry that pink, just to kind of speed things along. So you can always give it a little shot of a hair dryer just to speed things up. So yeah, there we go. You can see the camera stopped. So I'm going to add the trunk, and I'm going to use the Payne's Gray, a little bit darker, more concentrated. Using the very tip of the brush. Add a few little branches in there. And now the pink is all dry. I can go ahead and add my leaves with my green, which is, like I said, a little bit more of an olive green. So I really want that pink to pop. I like green and pink together. I'm going to add a little more pink. Watercolor always dries lighter, so you can go ahead and do a little second coat. I'm going to add some little dots here and there for those little tiny branches that are coming off. It's coming along nice. So I let that dry again, and now I'm going to go in with the 0.5 micron, which is a little bit bolder, and put in some darker line work and fill in some windows just to give it a little bit of dimension. If you left it like it was, it'd just be kind of boring, and we need to stimulate the eye with different values. I'll darken in all the little windows in the back there. And the detail on the door. You just have to kind of look around and see what you want to enhance. I'm going to add a few more stones in the ground without having the paint in them, just for something a little different. I'm going to add a few splatters. I'm going to use the Payne's Gray, and I'll do a little pink. I have a lot of water in there, and then just tap the brush. Gives it that beautiful watercolor appearance. So that's about it. So here is my finished sketch, and that was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed just doing a few colors. So I hope you were able to sketch along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will leave all the supplies in the description below. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And so I hope you have a wonderful day and you can find time to create a sketch of your own. So thanks again for watching, and bye for now.